In the vast world of Minecraftia, there existed a facility that dared to shatter the boundaries of innovation and a limited imagination. YogLabs, a marvel where the frontiers of block-based science were stretched to unveil the endless possibilities of this world. Yet amidst this beacon of hope, a shadow loomed. How did a bastion of progress twist into a maniacal, malevolent corporation, culminating in a chaotic downfall? So join us today at Lore Tours as we embark on a journey through the rise and fall of Minecraft's least secret lab. Welcome aboard everyone, this is your captain speaking, and today we're heading to... don't worry about that. Yes, today we're heading to the world of Minecraftia to explore the controversial rise, fall, and eventual fate of YogLabs. Now this is likely to be one of the most dangerous trips we've ever made here at Lore Tours. From rampaging mutants to unstable dimensional tears, this place is absolutely full of dangers. So do try to stay on board the ship at all times, and if you come across a coffee machine, it's probably best just to leave it well alone. Let's embark on this lore tour of YogLabs. YogLabs started out as a secret project funded by NASA, tasking the facility with conducting experiments into cutting-edge tech in the world of Minecraftia, and the job of overseeing this new facility fell to a soon-to-be infamous dynamic duo. Louis Xephos, an adventurer from outer space who would serve as the ingenious mastermind behind YogLabs, overseeing its construction, experiments, and overall strategy, and Simon Honeydew, a dwarven hero of Casmadan, who liked to dig holes. Concealed behind a colossal, nearly impenetrable door built into the side of a mountain, laid the state-of-the-art facility. Partially constructed from an unusual melon-based block substance, it boasted an array of advanced features, including numerous holodeck rooms designed to safely facilitate the lab's experiments. For any mishaps that might have occurred, a fully equipped medbay stood ready to mend the consequences of these harmless tests. Navigating the labyrinthine facility was made all the easier thanks to a sleek monorail system, seamlessly connecting its complex layout. And beneath its technological wonders, a vast underground warehouse sprawled, housing an impressive collection of ancient artifacts, each acquired through entirely legitimate means. Xephos and Honeydew were not alone in running the facility. It thrived under the diligent maintenance of a team of scientific testificates. Ensuring the security of YogLabs was a formidable force of Iron Golem guards, and amidst the hustle of scientific endeavour, a group of seemingly immortal little maids navigated the corridors, their tireless efforts keeping the vast YogLabs facility spotlessly clean and orderly. In its earliest days, YogLabs was a technological marvel. Among its early achievements was the development of sky ladders, an ingenious invention capable of propelling a man swiftly into the stars, the success of which led to the creation of their own Yasa space program, and perfecting the elusive art of breeding and taming the legendary Ender Dragon. But beneath this veneer of splendor and efficiency, YogLabs harbored a darker reality. Not everything was as idyllic as it appeared. Whispers began to circulate about experiments taking a perilous turn. The once stringent security protocols began to wane, failing to shield the staff from the increasingly hazardous and unpredictable exploits of Xephos and Honeydew.
There weren't any safety protocols in place. Not that we knew of, anyway. And certainly none that could protect us from Honeydew's haphazard experiments. We, tried to voice our concerns to Xephos, but each time, without fail, his dismissive, "Don't worry about that," echoed back. It was heartbreaking. I lost many good friends in those experiments.
Sorry, are you implying that there were fatalities at YogLabs? The revelation of staff deaths, a grim consequence of managerial negligence, was staggering. Yet, unbelievably, this was just the tip of the iceberg.
What?
Leaked financial documents would later expose that Xephos had extravagantly squandered a significant portion of the NASA funding on a luxurious BMW for his own personal use. This blatant misuse of resources was a stark contrast to the plight of the Little Maids. Far from being valued employees, they were trapped in a cycle of exploitation, serving YogLabs in what could only be described as indentured servitude. This was the grim reality behind the gleaming facade of YogLabs, a facility beginning to crumble under the weight of its own moral decay. Then, one fateful night, the myth around YogLabs would be blown fully open. What at first appeared to be a revolt amongst the Little Maids, outraged at the abuse they had suffered, turned out to be a meticulously orchestrated government operation, with the Little Maids revealed to be covert agents. Their task? To infiltrate YogLabs, gather critical intelligence on its activities, and expose the misuse of government funds. As the night unfolded, the facility became a battleground. Mobs unleashed by the government agents clashed with YogLabs' defenses. But after intense minutes of combat, the uprising was defeated. In the aftermath, a stunning revelation came to light. Xephos confessed to both Honeydew and the world that he had morphed YogLabs into his own malevolent empire, with the grand objective of taking over the entire planet, even Scotland, much to Honeydew's surprise. Thus began a prolonged and fierce conflict between YogLabs and the government. YogLabs was no easy adversary, having secretly amassed an arsenal of stolen military equipment from around the globe. They launched into the development and deployment of formidable weaponry, mutated beasts, power armor-clad soldiers, and legions of lethal robots, all unleashed against government forces. With their new agenda laid bare, YogLabs tightened its grip internally.
They were becoming desperate. The lab was under constant siege. Every day held the threat of missile attacks, driving us into bunkers. The early experiments backfired disastrously, our own creations wreaking havoc on us just as much as the enemy. Xephos' response was severe. He forced us to consume his concocted trail mix, claiming it would boost our efficiency, but that mix, it changed us.
It would later come to light that staff members, after ingesting enough of this trail mix, underwent a bizarre transformation into pigs. But these were no ordinary pigs. They were highly volatile, flying creatures, and in an act of desperation, YogLabs resorted to using these transformed beasts as aerial weapons, dropping them from the skies onto government positions in a last-ditch attempt to turn the tide of the war. The hardships faced by these poor testificates didn't end there. In a move echoing the Little Maid revolt, YogLabs again resorted to the use of forced testificate labor. Their task was to unearth a hidden stargate beneath the facility. This discovery led to a series of precarious experiments, perilously close to unleashing an invasion of alien bugs that threatened to devour all of Minecraftia. Despite the ongoing strife between YogLabs and the government, a stalemate in the fighting led to an unexpected truce and an extraordinary turn of events. In a twist of fate, the world looked to YogLabs not as a conqueror, but as a savior. A Kaiju outbreak bearing a striking resemblance to, yet legally distinct from, the narrative of Pacific Rim posed an apocalyptic threat. In Minecraftia's darkest hour, Xephos and Honeydew rose to the occasion. Piloting the colossal combat mechs, Gypsy's Kiss and Thunderstruck, their battle against Godzilla, Mothra, and a legion of mobs was epic in proportion. However, their lack of discipline and their recklessness resulted in high civilian casualties, causing more destruction than the rampaging Kaiju, leaving many Minecraftians to lament, wishing that they had been left to face the Kaiju by themselves. Surprisingly, this flagrant disregard for life did not deter the government from forging new ties with YogLabs. They signed several contracts, including the development of Robo-Dwarf, a next-gen law enforcement officer, and a controversial yet highly lucrative agreement that granted YogLabs control over the cloning and respawning of all individuals within Minecraftia. YogLabs' cloning techniques that were designed to replicate and teleport clones to specific respawn points eventually took a completely foreseen dark turn. as they began manipulating who could respawn and implanted control chips in the brains of those clones, exerting their influence from the shadows. It was the cloning venture that unveiled a chilling secret within YogLabs. Staff finally understood the mystery behind Honeydew's uncanny survival in life-threatening situations. Honeydew was in fact a series of clones, each meeting their own grisly end, whether that be by a pickaxe to the head, a fall from the HMS Pernus, or being devoured by a carnivorous hamster. Tragically, as the cloning process continued, the original genetic material degraded, leading to Honeydew's DNA becoming corrupted. Each successive clone grew more unpredictable and hazardous, heightening the peril of the YogLabs' already beleaguered testificate staff. The staff exploitation intensified with the introduction of tracking chips in their heads, the transformation of unruly staff into coffee, and the final, greatest indignity, the provision of intolerably thin single-ply toilet paper in the staff restrooms. It was only a matter of time before the oppressed staff of YogLabs would rise up in rebellion against their tyrannical overseers. This revolt culminated in what would be known as the Christmas Day coup, where two courageous staff members, Gozenkrantz and Rildenstern, devised a daring plan to overthrow the despotic rule of Xephos and Honeydew. Their strategy centered on destroying the master clones of the YogLabs founders, a move that would render Xephos and Honeydew mortal once again. However, Xephos and Honeydew, ever vigilant, learned of the plot. Honeydew cunningly disguised himself as a hamster and infiltrated the staff's Christmas party, where he uncovered their scheme. Their response was immediate and ruthless, swiftly neutralizing the conspirators. But this victory came at a grave cost: the destruction of Honeydew's master clone, meaning that the only way to ensure the continuation of Honeydew cloning was to replace the master clone housed within the cloning lab with the current existing version of the Honeydew clone. Thus, the only way to ensure Honeydew's immortality was for him to die. In the tumultuous aftermath of the coup, Xephos tightened his grip on YogLabs. He pioneered a new pig-powered cloning technique that no longer relied on a single master clone. Instead, a new system was implemented using jellified genetic goop to create numerous backup copies, each capable of housing the transferable consciousnesses of Xephos and Honeydew. But the consolidation of power didn't end there. The corridors of YogLabs were now patrolled by an army of robo-dwarf clones, and in a chilling move, Xephos initiated the growth of testificate workers from scratch, purging any that were not loyal. With the rebellion quelled and control firmly re-established, an emboldened Xephos embarked on even more audacious experiments. Bacterial bioweapons designed to help redecorate YogLabs ravaged the facility, and a catastrophic combination of a cup of coffee and a chronomatic displacement generator spawned a perilous time paradox, threatening to crash the world server indefinitely. The government, witnessing YogLabs' escalating recklessness, declared war once again. In response, YogLabs began training an elite squad of clone commandos, priming them for direct assaults on government towns. However, faced by the grim reality of their mission, many commandos succumbed to insanity, while one, Honeydew Clone 28, went rogue, destroying the commando facility and himself in a sacrificial act. To get around this minor morality issue, the subsequent Honeydew clones were deceived into participating in the murderous designs of Xephos, believing they were merely experiments in a virtual reality setting. In a series of brazen acts, the duo raided the government's gold reserves at Fort Knox, and in a heinous display of power, launched a pig asteroid superweapon against a government city, solidifying their status as a formidable threat to all of Minecraftia. The gears of innovation behind the doors of YogLabs would soon after fall eerily silent for nearly a year. Left to their devices following the deployment of their pig superweapon, Xephos hatched a new, sinister scheme to brainwash the children of Minecraftia, doing so via YogLabs-produced episodes of the long-running children's show, Teletubbies. Leading mishap where pork replaced their usual tubby custard and toast sent the Teletubbies into a frenzied berserker state. They broke containment, overwhelmed security forces, and consumed most of the testificate staff. With the facility overrun and options dwindling, Xephos and Honeydew faced a grim decision. To prevent further catastrophe, they initiated the self-destruct sequence of YogLabs. In a final twist of fate, as Honeydew activated the sequence, he was abandoned by his best friend. Xephos escaped in the only escape pod, leaving the facility, the rampaging Teletubbies, years of research, and the Honeydew clone to a fiery end. And that, my friends, is where the tale of YogLabs ends. Or does it? With whispers of a hidden YogLabs B-side out there somewhere, and rumours abound of Xephos and a miraculously unscathed Honeydew embarking on escapades across new lands and dimensions, their quest for new holes to dig, Jaffas to devour, and frontiers to conquer appears to remain unquenched. So who really knows what lies in store for these intrepid adventurers? Well, I hope you enjoyed this lore tour today on the rise and fall of YogLabs. Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments, and if you enjoyed yourselves, please do consider subscribing, as we'd love to have you on board with us again soon. Now, let's get out of here before the server crashes. Catch you next time. Hi everyone, Lore Tours here, or Richard if you prefer, and today I'm bringing you something a little bit different, as I wanted to talk about something that makes a real difference in the world. The Jingle Jam, a yearly live-streamed charity event that takes place between December 1st and 14th every year. Started by the Yogscast back in 2011 as a way of raising money for Oxfam, the Jingle Jam has grown to become the world's biggest charity gaming event, raising over $25 million for dozens of charitable causes, all through the generous charitable donations of people just like you. And for the past couple of years, the Jingle Jam has launched community-based fundraisers, allowing more people to raise money for many worthwhile causes, which is where we come in, as this year we'll be supporting Wallace and Gromit's Grand Appeal, a wonderful organisation that is the official charity of the Bristol Children's Hospital. They invest in pioneering research, innovation and life-saving equipment, as well as family accommodation and specialist support staff, who provide care and support to families who need it. Oh, and beside the warm, fuzzy feeling you'll get from donating, if you can, any donations of £35, around $42 or more, will get you access to a collection of over 70 PC games, collectively worth over £1,100. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's not. And I know times are a bit tough at the moment, but if you can donate, anything at all, it would be greatly appreciated and will go to a worthwhile cause. To donate, go to the link down in the description, and there will also be links through to the charity and the Jingle Jam as a whole for more information. I'll be streaming and making a couple of videos over the next couple of weeks to go along with Jingle Jam and the charity as a whole, so keep an eye out for them, but until then, catch you next time.